all kind of funny, but I like it.
Yeah, so this is episode 2 of Excuse Factory. My name is E-Rock. This is...
I am Tyler. Nice to meet y'all. Again, episode 2.
Hey, baby. We're just riding the high of having, 21 listens on SoundCloud.
Yeah, and a Miller High Life.
I don't even know where to spend the money. I think we got 2 likes, maybe 6 likes on Facebook.
I'm going to buy some socks.
12 likes on...
Fresh underwear.
Yeah, fresh drawers.
But welcome back to our...
Welcome back, everybody.
Our podcast is happening for the second time.
It's 2 episodes deep, and I just feel
so
good.
Goddamn deep. Deeper.
So good. Deeper still. I'm way deeper. I'm feeling that Belleville, Ontario glow. It is just after 10:14. Oh man, I'm looking at the wrong timestamp. 10:59 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, it's pretty much 11 your time, which means it's pretty much 8 my time. 7:59, yo.
8 time.
It's 8 time.
What's the square root of 69?
It's 8.
It's 8.
Bagel bites.
It's 8 something.
Bagel bites. Just ate bagel bites today for breakfast.
Yo, dude.
It's my weekend.
So, this is a show and people listen to it, and
yeah, people actually listen to this. Right? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So, I think we should open up with just kind of a catch-up since the last time we recorded last week. Since we last got together, Slayer, for those of you who don't know,
Slayer!
you really should know. Slayer is a metal band from somewhere.
They're just really good.
I think, California, but one of those places.
Oh, this is an excuse factory, so we don't do research that well.
Yeah, we don't do research.
Why would we? We just don't.
Yeah, we don't need to. But listen, we're both going to see Slayer on their final tour. Hopefully they're really not, getting together anymore, because it would be disappointing to have spent all this money on the ticket to find out they're going to fucking do another tour.
Another final tour.
But where are you? You're presumably catching them in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, but I gotta find somebody to go with before I buy tickets.
Vancouver,
because I don't know anybody else so far. I just have a
few.
Bought
You bought the ticket.
I haven't bought the ticket yet. I gotta.
You're probably not going because this shit's gonna be sold out.
Yeah,
soon,
I know.
Man.
There's a couple guys at work. They're real hardcore metalheads, so I don't think I fit in too much with their stee. But then again, whatever. If you're going to a metal concert, who gives a fuck? Just power drink.
Well, anybody who's 100% metalhead is usually, you talk to them for a bit, and you have, a tiny slice of something that you can relate to.
Yeah.
But then it's you name drop one band, and then they just kind of wrinkle their face at you, and then it's you lost them.
Yeah. Or they start talking all this, do you know this band member and that band member? And that band member?
Yeah, you're do you know who played bass on Shono? Well, it's always the same bass player for Slayer.
I still don't know. I don't
know
any
other band.
I don't know his name, man. I just like the band.
I know their lineup, but that's the kind of special attention to detail that I always bring to the mix on Excuse Factory.
Yeah, I just talk shit. I'm just here.
Talk shit and be like, yeah, bud.
Straight Trenton, bud. You want to buy this PS2, bud? $50, bud. You don't even know, bud.
$50.
But it's got a controller. Bud, you don't even know. I got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, bud. My solid word, bud. Solid word.
My solid word. Whenever you do that persona, I can smell the cheap cologne off.
Aqua Velva.
And I know your collar is black.
It's actually it's that Gillette razor fresh shave smell. Is it that one?
You should just sprayed shaving cream on your
and then just kind of did a Running Man to soak it in.
Yeah, so we're both going to Slayer to show that we're not pussies, but also that Slayer rules. Did you know who else is going? Or did you know the rest of the lineup?
No, I just knew...
Because if you don't, I'm ready to tell you.
Oh, I'm ready to hear it, because I don't know.
You want
yeah,
ready to listen?
But I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
Anthrax.
Oh, I did know that.
There.
I did know that.
So
I love Anthrax.
I'm gonna be. The seats that my
Anthrax.
homies hooked up.
I love
the seats that my
thrash
homies
metal.
hooked up. I won't be. I'm just gonna make a joke though. I'm gonna be caught in a mosh, but not really because I'm gonna be sitting down. I can't afford the floor seats. But
you can make your own little mosh.
Yeah. So the Anthrax is going to be there, Lamb of God, Testament, who's basically like Metallica.
Well, I actually did know the lineup. Now that you tell me, the dude at work couldn't
this band called
tell me enough about
Behemoth, but I don't know Behemoth very well. I just know their name.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. It's all awesome guitar riffy, sick chuggy music, so I love it.
Palm mutes. A lot of palm mutes.
Yeah.
I predict a lot of dive bombs.
A lot of crowd surfing, a lot of spitting,
crowd surfing,
all on tits,
people smoking reef,
cigarettes.
I honestly think maybe 1% of the crowd will be women.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of ladies will be going out to it.
No, just hardcores.
It's a bros only.
Can't say that now, man. It's 2018.
I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Excuse factory.
Yeah. But I don't make up excuses for being cool and intelligent.
No, that's just how it is for us.
So, a lot of podcasts I find they read ad copy, but for us, we're not sponsored.
No.
We're an unsponsored podcast. So if you want to pick us up and sponsor the Excuse Factory, you're welcome to do so.
We're the underground
but
Excuse Factory podcast, straight out of Trenton, Belleville.
A lot of, well, yeah, we're straight out of Trenton, but I think we should reach out to our 7 fans and let them know we have a call to action, which a lot of podcasts have, real podcasts. So our call to action is, I had this unfinished project. It was my dream to take the scene. You remember Waterworld?
Man, I remember watching that movie when I was a kid, and then the chick's got all those chains around her body, and she's like naked. And my dad's like, "Cover your eyes." So I covered my eyes, but I did that little peek thing that every kid did. I saw boobies, and I was like... You
did the peak thing, and then you're like, I feel stiffness.
I was like, oh, boobies, fuck yeah.
And so the scene at the end where Kevin Costner confronts Dennis Hopper. Shout out to my homie Devin, who I accidentally thought of, because he's kind of like
Kevin Costner?
Just not... But yeah, he's like Dennis Hopper, but alive.
I said Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without gills. Who has gills?
Who pees in some sort of device he makes and drinks his own pee.
Yeah, which to me would... And it's this is the highest gross.
Well, that's kind of silly, right? Though, because like the movie, all the special effects back in the time, it was expensive.
It was the most expensive movie at the time,
but
and it fucking bombed. Nobody liked it. Nobody went to see.
Like he peed in the thing in a land of salt water. Like I don't know. I don't remember the movie that well because I was a little kid when I saw it. Was there something wrong with the water, or is it just water?
The problem was in Waterworld there was no land.
No,
it was just
salt water, right? He couldn't. That's why he peed in the bottle to drink his own, and then put through that thing to drink it. Why didn't he just take the salt water out of the ocean?
Because, dude, he was brand loyal. He's like, Kevin Costner piss is the best piss. That's the piss that made JFK. It made the piss that made Robin Hood without a. He was the only fucking American-sounding guy in the middle of England.
Yeah.
He did not have
I never even realized
whatsoever.
That. I never even... And... Man, you from young Robin Hood? From Detroit.
It's the only movie with Bryan Adams having the title track and the soundtrack.
Oh, man.
Fucking Mr. Acne Scars Adams.
Dude, you're
straight out of... He's, that's Canada. He put Canada on the map.
Bryan Adams?
But, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Dude,
I guess.
I didn't even, partake in the soon-to-be legal substance at all today, but we've already burned out and forgot the original thing that I was going to mention, but I was going to say a call to action to fans. Find a cut of when Kevin Costner at the end, slowly walks up to Dennis Hopper, who's, talking on a mic, in front of his crew and slapping a little girl in the face.
Oh man!
Because my dream, because I have a bit of audio editing skill, very limited as you'll hear from the quality and the fact our gear.
Way limited.
But like I do all the beats that we're featuring on the show.
Skills.
But I was gonna say my video editing skill is garbage. What I wanted to take was just key scenes out of Waterworld and overdub all of Kevin Costner's dialogue with a dolphin chatter and dolphin laughing. So I'm not able to play the clip on the show right now because I don't have a soundboard. That's a lot of work. You know, when we get 10 fans, I'm going to start doing, like, I'll edit in stuff and we'll react to live audio.
Yeah.
We're not doing that tonight. But we basically, if some cool, super awesome fan could find a really tight clip from Waterworld, edit out all the Kevin Costner, leaving the rest of the sound and the rest of the dialogue, but just have Kevin Costner making, like seal and otter.
I can't even make. I don't even know if I can make a noise like that. That was my attempt.
I know. I can't even mimic and dolphin chatter, dolphin laughing, like
from years of smoking.
Like,
yeah, I can just feel
I found
the
a sample
gargle
of.
You know,
Lindsay can attest. I was sitting. I spent a good 15 minutes of work on it. I'm like, oh, I have a smartphone. I can just get apps like real quick. So I tried it out, but the app I had wouldn't let me fly in the dolphin sound at a specific time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck this app. And I'm like, maybe if I found a better app that let me, you know, go frame by frame.
You
pop.
Man, you can probably use Windows Movie Maker. You can.
I know, but I hate using my PC. It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It's a piece of shit.
PC stands for piece of crap in this case.
Piece of crap in this case. 2 gigs of RAM, bud.
Yeah. Whatever. That's fine. It doesn't even matter. But.
Yeah, it's good enough. I mean, it's good enough to mix the Excuse Factory, but
and watch Pornhub.
Anyway, that was a very long focus on a call to action for the fans, but there it is. Yeah. Fans, get the shit together.
Cool me off.
Put us on, yo. So hey, we've got a rich selection of topics today, and we're probably going to ramble all over the place.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's our excuse for this factory.
I don't think I'm like pumped up enough to get to the real meat and potatoes of the show, but I think we should talk about
meat and potatoes.
I think we should always kind of take down something in popular culture because we attacked Jay-Z last episode.
You attacked Jay-Z.
A lot of shots were fired. I attacked
you
him.
Went off.
You got a few words.
You went off for a moment there. It's a corporate merger.
I went off for a bit.
It's a corporate merger. You don't even love each other.
It's a fucking. I went off. So. Fucking.
Yeah. So fucking.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Let's talk about The Walking Dead.
I don't know anything about it. I saw that a lot of
That's
people
why I have you on the
like
show.
so much.
All your reactions are not going to be forced. Everything is genuine because you don't watch anything.
Yeah.
You literally don't watch TV. You never have.
Yeah,
as long as I've known you.
I watched TV when I was a kid. I like cartoons. I watched a lot of Simpsons. So
you have probably 30 DVDs and you just cycle through those.
Yeah, it's like I lived in
super cool.
It's like I lived in your basement for a few months. And
you lived in my basement when it wasn't flooding and the water wasn't shut off. It was pretty chill.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I like living at your place, man. The only thing I didn't like was the stomping.
This is a podcast.
The stomping.
The stomping of my dog.
Yeah, because I was directly underneath the living room, and children get up at the wildest hours of the morning, and they're all they're all heels.
Let's face it,
all
for
heels
you waking up in the morning is always a challenge.
Yeah, I don't usually get up until I have to, like if it's for work.
You're free. You're free.
I stay up,
but you don't go to bed.
I stay up really late and sleep in till like 4 in the afternoon sometimes. I didn't go to bed last night. Well, I guess this morning till like 6:37. But I was doing work on other stuff because I'll sleep when I'm dead. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
man.
Hey,
Gotta work, people. You don't get money. Gotta grind.
we're gonna talk about The Walking Dead though, because it's one of the #1 TV shows. So many people watch it. The office that you and I used to both work at.
It was like one of the main points of discussion.
Season 5 episode, whatever. Did you see? Oh my god! And when they did that.
Shut up! No spoilers! No spoilers! Shut up!
No spoilers.
It's like I don't
Spoiler
give a
alert,
shit, man. Like I could hear a spoiler.
Did you see
I could hear a spoiler and
when
still enjoy
Negan
the show.
And the baseball bat.
Oh yeah, man. Nobody wanted to talk about that. It was like taboo. It was forbidden. Give me a break.
So full disclosure, my wife and I, before she was my wife, we started watching Walking Dead back in 2009. Nobody knew about it. It was like a low-key show. I can't remember. I don't know what fucking network it was on, but we were stealing it from the internet. And I was like, season 1, it was pretty tight. Nobody, like, zombies were not popular. Nobody was. There weren't like 6.
Dude, zombies were always
shows.
popular. When I was in college, the first thing they told us, because everybody, I went to school for animation and video game design. One of the first things they told us was like, no zombie games, please. No more zombie games. You gotta be more original than zombies.
Even look at
and that was before
Resident Evil.
Zombie games. Almost, you know? Cause,
but like Doom and Resident Evil kind of had that same vibe.
And then, what was it? Left 4 Dead, remember that game?
No.
Man. That was probably one of the better zombie games, I think.
I've heard of it. I'm sure it's killer.
Pretty killer. I think it was. You get it on Steam. Yeah. Video games, people. I used to play video games when I was in school. I don't play them anymore. I was like hard into Counter-Strike. We had a team. We had sponsors, man. We were called Team Awesome. We had a website.
Wait, what was this game?
Counter-Strike Source. It was like.
Oh, Counter-Strike.
When I first, my homie Garrett back home, he's like, showed me Counter-Strike, and he's like, man, this is like the Olympics of video games. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, people get paid like big money to play this game, like professionally. And that was before like being in video games could be a job kind of thing. Like I even
was that
knew
the
about
time?
That.
Was that back in the LAN parties where you didn't have you had a local area network where you're just like patching. Was it PC based or was it console?
It was PC. It's PC. That was like beginning of college. So it was probably like 2008.
Okay, I'm just pitching.
2008ish, 7ish, maybe even 2006.
I've always been a loner. My gaming experience has never been. I've never done online gaming or any of that shit.
Yeah, I got into it hard for a little while.
But yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
I just wanted to. Basically, I think Walking Dead is like poorly written as a show. It does have some moments where maybe like 10% of the episodes in a season, like you get little slices of, oh wow, they did the tension really well. Mm-hmm. The action was cool.
But everybody's heads exploding like watermelons
done.
And stuff. I'm just like over it.
There's a part the best. I think the show climax when the main character Rick, him and his son were like kind of, and this other dude were they got ambushed. I think I'm not remembering it correctly, which is kind of part of the Excuse Factory theme. It's just like getting mad at something that I don't even remember
or understand
the way it happened.
Yeah, really.
Or I don't even truly understand it, which is how I've gone through my adult life. But the he's like been captured
the
and ambushed
Belleville
by these like he's been captured by these goon dudes, and like it seems like his kid is gonna get raped. It's like as bad as it could get on a show. Mm-hmm. And then like the dude leans into him to like say something mean to him, and he bites his throat open. Like the protagonist, the Rick dude, bites the guy's throat out, and I was like, yes!
Oh, yeah.
I
knew about that part.
I was cheering
I knew about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was on. Because it's on like everything you go on to. Like you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram. There's always like I can't not see The Walking Dead, even if I wanted to.
But imagine like reading through your sister's diary for like 20 hours, and then but you're like, I'm gonna read through her diary, and then at the end of it, I'm gonna see this guy bite the throat out, and that's basically the show. Or you're like, I'm gonna read the phone book, but it's it's not in alphabetical order, so I'll put it in alphabetical order, and then I get to see the throat bite. Or then I get to see
it was all worth it.
Character get his head bashed in with a baseball bat. But
it takes so long.
No, I just wanted to quickly say the writing is inconsistent. It's over dramatic. It's basically like fourth wave emo records in terms of quality and integrity. And it's middle of the mall shit. Yeah. And it fucking sucks. And if you think it's a great show, you should try getting a library card and reading some books, baby.
Yeah, books are good. Books are good.
But, no, I wanted to segue out of that because, like, you don't watch the show, so I can't really...
rip on it too much.
You can't react to my... We can't be like, yeah, I remember that.
I never watched the show.
I did watch it.
I remember my friend was getting
I think I've made it...
He'd watch it.
Dude, I did 4 seasons because the actual graphic novel was good to a point. But it's one of those shows, like, because, full disclosure, you and I have a graphic novel called Slime Church. It's available at gumroad.com/Slime Church, and it's all issues are free.
Yeah, Slime Church.
But, Slime Church, baby.
Church.
Just Google Slime Church. We're the only
Start
one.
to ooze, yo. Slime Church.
Excuse me.
Nice.
And,
it's way better than The Walking Dead.
No.
We can't say that because The Walking Dead became a television show.
In like 5 years when we've actually finished our... No, but the graphic novel's tight.
Yeah.
But
I actually did read a bit of the first book.
Some of it's good, but the problem is it never ends.
Yeah.
Because they're making so much money. They're not making they're no longer serving the art. They're serving the consumer.
I have a question.
Fucking goofy.
How many books are there of the Game of Thrones?
There are 5.
Okay. Are they just going to keep going past the books with the show? I don't. By the way, I don't watch that. Oh, see, there you go. I didn't even know. I don't watch that either. I've never even seen an episode. I don't think. I bet you the special effects are probably pretty kick-ass though. Like pretty kick-ass.
I started watching the show when it came out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, sweet, I'll read the books. Like I didn't, and then I read all the books that were available.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 2011 or 2012 I read the last book that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And legitimately, I think books 1 to 3 were really good, like well written. A little bit too many characters for any of my literary listeners.
It's kind of hard to follow, right?
Not as many.
So many names.
Well, no, it's not. Not as many names as like a Thomas Pynchon novel, which I know you don't get the reference, but anybody else who reads.
This isn't for me, Eric.
Like Thomas Pynchon. I know
me.
This is for our fans. But like The Walking Dead, or not The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, The Song of Ice and Fire is the actual official name of the series of books. The writing is tight because every single character thinks they know how the world works and they're all wrong.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like real life where everybody thinks they have the right path, but none of them agree.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them agree, but a lot of it is just like everyone's disappointed. They're carrying around their personal baggage, and they can never get past it. And even as they move forward and do stuff in the real world, they're always suffering. It's just a really bleak set of books.
Yeah.
Like George R.R. Martin was pretty good with the 4th and 5th book. It's like the editor was like, fuck, this guy is doing really well. He's gaining a lot of success, so I'm not going to edit him the way I would edit a lower scaled writer.
Oh.
So the editor's being a total pussy and not being like, okay, nobody really cares about the 300 pages you dedicated to these characters that are now just in this book all of a sudden, and now we have to care. And it like the momentum was lost, and there was a lack of. It just seemed like, well, the books could go anywhere, but it was still compelling. It was like, man, it's really building up to something, and then he fucking stopped and had this TV show that, I mean, a lot of it is well produced, but for me, I was really sucked into the literary world.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to find out what happens. It's 2018 now, man. It's been 6 years, and he still hasn't done book 6.
It's been 6 years.
It's supposed to be 6 years between the last book. I mean, look how long you and I have been working on Slime Church, though. We've known each other for a few years.
Yeah, but Slime Church is like a back project. We got other stuff we do in the meantime.
But Slime Church officially we are 1 year. It took us our first issue came out January 20 or 21.
Yeah, but we had two.
Last year.
We had 2 issues.
But that was a year ago.
That was actually
a year
we
ago.
actually had one
But
issue, but we split it into 2 because it worked out way better and it made more sense to
Yeah, sure.
make it so big.
But I'm just saying, like, our average is 3 issues a year, which is fine. We're still moving forwards. We're working on issue 4 now.
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy obviously he's been working on the TV show and driving that forward, but he just left all those literary fans in the dust. Like we're just
nothing. We're garbage. We're human garbage.
Well, the books.
You're human garbage.
No, but I don't think you understand how many thousands of pages I read to get there.
Dedicated.
They're huge books.
Man, I get it. That's shit.
And and you know how cheap I am. I never buy anything. I bought all those books.
You buy records and CDs, tapes.
And then
tapes.
So as
Cassette tapes.
the show got more and more popular, and then it's like everybody, all these like normal people are just average people are like talking about it. I'm like, these are characters that I'm like privately had in my head. I imagined them one way, and now all of a sudden it's like an actor. It's like the guy who's the dwarf character.
Yeah.
In the book, he's really ugly. His eyes are a different color. He has like a white and black beard. Like he looks like shit, but he's like the most handsome like short person possible.
Yeah.
Cast for the role, and I don't know. It's fuck that show.
Yeah.
Like I know it's a decent show. If I hadn't spent all that time reading the books, I wouldn't be so bitter. But
yeah.
You know what?
Does it
got
feel
too
like
popular.
a big waste of time now? All of a sudden, like
it does feel like a waste of time. It's like if you dated someone for a long time, and then they decided to just start fucking someone else in between fucking you.
Yeah, and you're
concurrently.
And you're like working hard to make this thing go down the whole time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, and then
anyway,
now
George R. Martin.
That's cool. You said like your personal thoughts are now out there. Like, oh, this was personal.
Yeah, now
they're.
It
was cool for me and like my group of friends, but now like Joe Blow's grandmother's into Game of Thrones, and their whole family sits down and watches Game of Thrones. And I never really watched it. Actually, I've never watched it, but aren't there like sex scenes and shit, graphic?
Yeah, I mean there are beautiful women in it. There's handsome men that are showing hanging dong. It's funny though when they have sex scenes and all the men have limp dicks. Because it's like a broadcasting standard. They can't show their boner.
Yeah, because it's like more arousal or something. I don't know. That's weird.
Not that I'm like vying for... But it's not like they're showing like women being aroused. Like they're not spreading it open and showing how wet they are or anything on TV.
Yes. I
mean, no one would... I don't think anyone would protest that at this point. Unless children are watching it. Yeah. But, hey, that's my little... You know what? We actually finished a topic. We got The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and then
I said all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah.
But I think
stupid.
Maybe we could segue
so over
just
zombies.
looking at the screenshot.
Like zombies.
Yeah,
let zombies die.
Yeah, that's the problem though. They won't.
They're undead. They're undead.
Honestly though, like Night of the Living Dead, the first really... there might have been another... I think that was the first movie. Have you seen the original Night of the Living Dead, the black and white George?
Is that the one with the thing that's like brains, and it's on the table?
No, nothing cheesy like that. It was black and white. This woman is with her big goofy brother, and they're at a graveyard, and he's like, "They're going to get you, Barbara."
Maybe I have seen that.
And then a zombie like eats the guy, and then the guy is a zombie immediately and starts chasing him. I saw it as I think I was like 10 or 11, or maybe younger.
Probably mess you up a little bit.
And I watched it with my dad on like TV Ontario, like Channel 2, LWO.
Yeah, and you got the cable box on the top of the TV.
Yeah, totally.
And the knobs were big clicky things, like doo, doo, doo.
Yeah, like the VHF.
And then like 5 channels, unless you had a cable box and cable.
Do you remember? You know the movie Speed?
Yeah.
So that was written by this guy named Graham Yost.
Okay.
And his dad, Elwie Yost, I think they were Swiss. That's why their names are... Well, the last name's funny.
Eric.
Well, not funny, just different. And... Because it's not a racist podcast.
Different is funny.
But it's like white on white racism is pretty like...
Yeah.
That's the entry level like prejudice, but...
You're an idiot. Have to explain
Whatever.
it. Have to explain it.
I'm in Belleville. You can be an ignorant dingus. But,
totally dingus.
It's common over here. But listen, anyway, Elwios was this old kind of bald guy with glasses and a mustache who would play like classic noir movies, and he would like, they'd play the movie, but then in between, like, they would talk about it, or at the end of the movie he would like talk about it, maybe interview somebody from the film. Mm-hmm. It was like super highbrow shit, and I watched it with my dad on, and it was like a Saturday night fixture at our house.
I remember something like that. What's this weird?
You might have. You're old enough to remember, and you lived in Ontario long enough to.
Yeah, there was like a time where you'd watch this show and it'd be like a bunch of small horror flicks, like scary flicks, all in like a half hour to an hour or something like that, and they're super cheesy. And it's like stop motion animation and stuff like that. But
that shit's the best.
But that like obviously scared me as a kid because I don't know better. I was terrified as a kid of everything.
Night of the Living Dead was really scary for me. Yeah, you know what? I even find it still kind of
Child's Play, the like Chucky, scary. The killer doll. My sisters used to torment me with that. Well, my older sister.
Any of my, I know you didn't watch this, but any of my Deadwood fans that listen to the show, the guy who plays the doc on Deadwood is the voice of Chucky.
Oh, cool.
I can't think of the actor's name, but he's kind of like funny looking eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the voice of Chucky.
Oh man, Chucky scared me so much.
I think Chucky was like he was like a burglar or some sort of criminal.
Yeah, and then he sells his soul to some voodoo thing or something weird. I don't know. And then he gets put in a stall. And then it just went on for too long.
Oh man, that's the second beer opened on the show. I feel like we're really making progress.
Yeah. Oh, you heard that? That's Yeah. Are we allowed to say the names of brands?
I don't give a fuck. I mean, like,
it's
what are they gonna do?
Life.
What are they gonna?
It's delicious.
Hey, Miller High Life. Hey, that's a champagne of beer. So I've had since we started recording. I finished off a Bone Shaker IPA.
Is a legit
I'm working on
name for that drink. Bone Shaker.
It's good.
My buddy drinks those back home. Man.
It's as strong as the old malt liquor that you.
I can finish one or two, but like, I don't enjoy it that much. But that's why you only have like drink one or two. Yeah. This dude will buy a 6-pack and drink them. I'm like, oh, you're gonna be.
To me, it's kind of like food. It's like food. You just have a.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy the taste, and it's strong. Yeah.
Meal in a glass.
Like I wouldn't drink.
It's like a thick
10 Caesars.
A thick thing, you know. Put it in your tummy. Fills you up.
Like I wouldn't sit down and eat like 6 cheeseburgers, but if I had 1 or 2, I'd be satiated.
I would too.
Well, the old me probably if I could.
Could.
I don't even then. That's a lot. That's
6 cheeseburgers, man. That'd be. You'd feel like death. You get the McDowns because all I can think of is a McDonald's cheeseburger.
You could become like Gut Cassidy in the Sundance cheeseburger.
You'll have a dick too.
Yo, that's tight as penis.
Your dick will hang longer, or your stomach will hang longer than your dick do. You got a dick do.
You laugh though, but I was fat enough for a while that when I'd look down, I couldn't see my dick.
Poo.
And boner.
And even then,
but I'm not.
There's just a little turtle head poking out.
That was bad. That was a bad time.
Whatever, man.
Well, it was good because I ate what I wanted and had chicken wings probably.
And your girl worked at like a restaurant and brought home like the goods, man.
She was a waitress and she was bringing home
the goods.
Food that totally was paid for that wasn't free.
No, why would you ever get free food?
And she'd be like, "Are you hungry, baby? Do you want a cheeseburger?" Like,
baby,
whatever the feed. And I got to know what the special was at the bar every day of the week. I'd be like, "Yeah, isn't it like today curry day? Bring home the curry." Or I'd be like, "It's wing night, so I'd get like 2 pounds of wing."
Eat them all because
I want
you could.
a pound of. I'd be like, I want a pound of suicide and a pound of medium.
Slam your hand on the table and light up a stogie and just drink bourbon on the rocks. Wait for your girl to come home with 2 pounds of wings.
Yeah, that part of my life was the... No, I'm not going to tell you. I had a label for what the era was called, but I can't say one of the words because it's not a drug podcast. But anyway.
A drug podcast. It's an excuse factor.
Dude, yeah, it's an excuse factor. I just came up with an excuse of why I'm not going to tell the whole truth.
You're damn right.
We had another... what did you want to comment? Did you notice that people are snitching more online? I mean, half of our life is the real world, half of it's just the apps that we pull up. And then it goes beep, and you check a notification. Next thing you know, you're scrolling through a bunch of garbage.
Do you remember what it was like to, like, okay, when being famous was, like, hard to think about, you know what I mean? Like, what would it be like to be famous?
Sure.
Do you remember that? But now you could be famous. You can just be on the internet and be famous. If they turned off the internet, man, there's so many people who are not famous anymore. They're nobodies. All of a sudden they... Yeah, that's messed up. I just thought about that, like... Remember?
I remember... Well, yeah, I mean... Now. I remember being... So, well, you were gone from our job at the company where we're not going to say the name because I still work there. But, it's
I don't work
really
there,
great.
so...
It's such a good place to
Eric's
work.
telling his side of the story.
I feel like I'm really well compensated.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I felt that way too. That's why I left.
Me and Brennan at this alleged workplace, we're on the social media team, and we at one point when things would be, even if things were busy, we both had Imgur accounts, and we would try to make memes and see who would go the most viral. It was kind of an informal competition, and I wrote. I think I did one post. It was like I took a clip of the California raisins.
Oh yeah.
And
so creepy
I put some sort of, I can't even think of the title I slapped on it, but all I would do is grab other people's content and slap a clever title on it, and then that was kind of tuning into the meme culture. And I think I got like 1,000 upvotes, but like 100,000 views, kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm a famous person because my phone was like going bzz, 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 bzz. I had to like take it off Wi-Fi because it was just wouldn't
it's like
stop.
Instant gratification.
And
like, oh, it feels so good.
And I just felt like I was like plugged into this network of the world, and people from all over the world are commenting and remembering.
And liking me.
And I wrote like the top 20 hardcore East Coast hip hop album like list, and all I did was slap like I spent like 2 hours on the list, and I was getting paid to do it. And I mean, if my job found out, they would, it wouldn't have been cool. But I fulfilled my duties. It didn't take away from my work. But I'm just so good at my job that I have time to be a meme master.
It's true.
But and I got like 40,000 hits, and Imgur gave me a little like fake trophy that said like most favorited article of the day or most favorited post. And I had just people like talking to me about hip hop from all over the world, and it was really exciting. Yeah. So like it is, any idiot can become, get your 15 minutes on the internet, get your web fame. But if my phone,
But did you really want to keep
when you
up
try
with
to,
it? Like, just,
yeah, because
just shit happens.
Remember I had that job interview. I was trying to get that social media promo job and like office manager thing at a dentist's office. And the woman's like, full disclosure, I don't know what social media is. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm pretty good with words. And I explained to her what I had done. And she just still had that blank look on her face, like I was like saying like, I could have been talking about like
rocket science,
flying a plane, or my dick shaft, or, So I'm like, so it's got like some blue veins and
little bumpies here and there.
It's a little bit, it's a
couple
little bit curvy.
Areas of scar tissue from some accidents.
Some accidents from some type V's.
Warts and oozing sores.
I'm doing that thing across my neck because you can see me visually on your camera. No, I don't have any of those. But she was older, and she's like, I'm kind of in a lawsuit for some unrelated thing, and I haven't been on social media for 10 years. Like, oh, so why are you interviewing me about this job that you don't... Anyway, I didn't get the job, so... I mean, I went to her house and killed her. So I feel like we're
pretty much... It was on the news. Yeah. When you're saying, like, people snitching on the internet... I think people use the internet to get back at people when they have no other way to get back at people. You can really mess up somebody's life on the internet. Like somebody had a bad day, and then like I watched a video of this McDonald's drive-thru thing, and these two employees are like arguing at each other, and the guy's filming the whole thing. And then the lady's like obviously just irate, pissed off, so she comes to the window. She's like, "Don't film me, don't put me on Facebook." And he's like, "Oh, I'm doing it, ha ha ha," just antagonizing her. It's like, oh man, now that lady might lose her job just because you thought it'd be funny to put it on the internet.
I know, and
or it could be like those cop videos and stuff like that too. Like those pop up, I'm like, I can't even watch this. This is just gonna like induce anger.
Well, I just hate cops in general, but
I'd say need one.
Well, I resent any authority over me.
Yeah.
Just for the fans who don't have a direct camera link into the Tyler's apartment.
Condo, actually, it's condo. It's condominium.
Condo. His roomie opened the door and he did the like get out of here.
The cutthroat hand signal
across the neck. No. Like just get the fuck out.
I'm cleaning my room.
I'm like, Mom, I'm doing a podcast.
Seriously? I told you already.
Seriously. I told you, Ma.
Jeez, get out of my room. They're gonna hear you. You're embarrassing me in front of my fucking entire friends.
But I mean, we're both on Facebook, and I think the only reason I'm on Facebook is I have friends like you who are out of town. Yeah. Like way out of town, out of province. Deeper. Or deeper still. Or like her friends that are, I just don't catch up with them, and it's cool to see what they're up to. And we're promoting our comic book, or before when I was a failed...
Nothing failed about Song Church. And, it's so sick. It's the coolest thing.
No, but I was like, I didn't get very far with my hip-hop and punk rock endeavors outside of that before I knew you.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And,
we really made things happen, E-Rock. Let's just say that.
Well, we're making it happen, but that's the only reason I keep Facebook is for promo.
Yeah. I keep Facebook to keep in touch with friends, of course, and family because I live far away.
But it's like now. in the news feed, you see people like.
I also use it for like posting my skate videos or my artwork or things like that. Just for. Oh man, Facebook now is just you scroll through and it's just a bunch of videos and opinions.
It's memes that remember when we looked at memes all day at work. It's like. Oh yeah, I saw this meme like a month ago, and it wasn't that funny. And now, like
everybody thinks it's fun.
People are like, oh, this is so great. I'm like, you guys, this is just like a garbage dump of internet content. Yeah. It's not.
Like every time somebody wants to show me something, like you see this video, and they pull it, I'm like, a lot of the time now I just don't tell them I saw it, but I've seen everything.
No, I don't
Especially
either.
when it comes to
I've
skating.
seen everything.
Like I follow every skateboard thing ever on the Instagram, man. It's like my entire feed is just skating and art. And some Dragon Ball Z.
I've noticed like a pattern of people sharing like police bulletins, and we're on the lookout for this. Yeah. Watch out for this guy.
Those are pretty helpful. Or weather warnings and stuff like that too. The other day I went on Facebook and I had a weather warning for a tsunami in BC, but I'm nowhere near the coast.
But everybody's so down to snitch, and a lot of them it's like watch out for this scam and these people.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look at their sources, and like they don't really have any sources.
They just went off like, another post that they got.
Like another post, and like everybody's like, and all these people are hitting the share button, and all of a sudden we're doing the work of the police.
Yeah.
But it's unverified. And
nothing's for sure.
Like, what's the benefit of helping the police? Like, how do they help us?
Oh.
Like, all they do is generate revenue for the province with bullshit fucking speeding tickets.
Eric, there are some things that they help with, honestly.
We don't need them. We need organized crime. We need, like, mafia dudes I'm listening to this podcast called The Sit Down with...
You watch too much Sopranos?
No, well, like...
That's amazing.
I've done 3 tours through that show. It's an amazing show.
Yeah, unreal.
But no, I'm listening to this podcast called The Sit Down, and it's this comedian Mike Racine and Frank Terranova, like 2 pretty underground like New York comics, and they just talk about they're New York guys, so they they've got the accent that I can't do.
It's the best accent.
But
it's so in your face.
They're Italians.
Fuck.
But the one guy's older and he knows like actual. He grew up in the mafia neighborhoods. He knows made guys. He knows people who went to jail.
Kind of sees
he's had friends die.
How actually went down firsthand from an outside perspective, I guess. Right? Yeah,
and he's like, I would never tell the police anything. He's like, I'll never tell them anything. And I'm like, why can't we go back to that? Because what are they doing for us? Any encounter I've had with the police,
it's awkward and scary.
It's just some fucking
you feel
some
like
bully from high school. Some
feel like you're doing something
like
wrong immediately, dude.
Yeah, they could take my freedom. They're wearing a gun, and there's some guy who's fucking. I know he's never read more than like 2 or 3 books. He didn't do well in high school, and he's like, "Fuck, I want to do the right thing." He doesn't really have a grasp on like a lot of morality.
So he's like,
"Hey, I'm generalizing on what police are, but I've really had a lot of negative. I'm not a criminal person, but I've had a lot of run-ins with cops that were just unsavory, and they're just fucking like,
looking for trouble, or
douches, like bully dicks with guns, and like if you don't fake respect them, that they could just take your freedom away. Like fuck those guys."
Make a persuasive argument, you rock.
Anyway, no, not really. I'm generalizing it.
Yeah.
I know there are probably some good cops out there.
There definitely are, man.
Yeah, there are. They're like people who legitimately join the people who bust pedophiles and take down violent criminals and
bad people.
Help.
Just straight up.
They break up a domestic and like they arrest like wife abusers or like people who are beating their kids. Yeah. That shit is necessary, but there's a lot of
people having crazy manic episodes in a mall with a gun, shit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously you need somebody.
I'm not an idiot. I understand that not every cop is a piece of shit, but I just generally don't.
Well, you do
like that institution
as well. Actually, I actually had a run-in with the cops not that long ago. The other day,
Was it because you were skating?
No, I've had that before. They're actually, most cops are pretty cool when you're skating. They just ask you to leave and just listen. Sometimes you want to get that trick though.
Yeah.
Come on, man, please. Anyways, some guy was at the bus stop and had my music on. He's standing there on his cell phone, and I watched some guy walk up to him, and I didn't hear anything, but it looked like they were friends. And the one guy like leans into the other guy and then tries to snatch his cell phone. The guy pulls away, and
the
one guy pulls away and takes a swing at the guy. Then the guy backs up who tried to steal his cell phone, and he's like, just talking shit. And fucking motherfucker, fucking take blah blah, and then like kind of takes off. And then the cops get called by the bus drivers, and then all this stuff. And I was literally the only dude there, so like, hey, we just want to ask you a couple questions.
Did they interview?
Yeah, and I gave like my name and shit. And I just wanted to say no. You know what I mean? You just want to be like, just leave me alone.
Wait. So I'm gonna be you. I'm you being interviewed by the cops. Now I'm gonna be like, yo, I didn't see nothing. All right, I didn't see nothing, man. Like, no. You understand? There's a man who almost got robbed. Like, I told you once, I tell you twice. I didn't see nothing.
Shit, God.
Fuck out of here. Fuck
your couch.
This fucking guy.
So, anyways, I just want to be like, I was just standing there getting ready for work. I was baked, I was standing there waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
And then these guys come up to me and immediately, my heart didn't race or anything because I didn't do anything wrong. But I'm just like, oh man, seriously, I gotta explain myself. And when you're like, I don't want to tell you what I saw because I just don't want to. And they'd be like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't want to help you. You're a cop.
And then anyways, so I felt obligated to tell. And then I find out they're like, well, maybe we'll call you for questioning. I was like, no, I'd really rather not, and stuff like that. And then I found out that they got all the information from the bus driver anyways, because everything's on film, because there's a camera on the bus. So I was like, why'd you have to get all my information?
But they liked...
If you got it filmed, right?
Yeah, but It looks better for their case if they're trying to prosecute
totally.
and they have two people.
Still, it was a total inconvenience, and then it just like changed my day. I was like, yeah, big, going to work and finish this, and then go home, draw, have a beer, and go to bed.
Yeah.
And now, like, all of a sudden this hits the mix, and then you feel awkward and uncomfortable, and like, oh, I just gave my name to the cops. Like, fuck. Like, I didn't have to do that. I one time stole a GT.
I didn't wear jogging pants.
I stole a GT from somebody's backyard before. Yeah.
Oh, you
totally had it. It sat there.
I don't even want to be on this show.
It sat there for so long.
You felt bad.
I still feel bad. That's why I'm confessing on our Excuse Factory.
Yeah, because, I had I'm not doing any confessions this episode. I had a big one.
Yeah, he was like my friend for a little while, but then we stopped hanging out and we kind of like got into fights because like when you're a little boy, you fight all your friends. Fist fight everybody.
Did he know you stole a GT?
No, man, and I mean, I eyed that thing forever. Like 2 years kind of thing. It just sat there. And then in the winter, it just sat there and collected snow, and it just sat on top of this, like, I don't know, like wooden box thing. This one day, I was just with my friend Beep, and we,
Yeah.
and we just grabbed the GT and we just took off. And then he already had a GT, so then we could GT together, man. It was the best. But the whole time, I felt super guilty, but I never got in trouble for it.
And he never knew?
No, he didn't know.
And
we stopped being friends.
Your parents were like, how come you have an extra
Found
GT?
it. One time my sister found a lawnmower in the field, and it worked. And she just brought it home. My dad was gonna make a go-kart out of it, but that actually never happened, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it was pretty rad, bro. This is the Excuse Factory where we're straight all the time. No alcohol, no drugs.
No, nothing else. I realized as we've been talking, I drifted away from the mic, like, significantly.
Oh, really? You're going to have some work to do tonight, or tomorrow night, or whenever you edit this.
Well, that was your story segment, so my reaction to the story isn't super important.
Yeah. Anyways, so we GT'd, and there was... There was this abandoned ski hill, and it was like a double black diamond. It was just like, by our houses. So we take our GTs there, and we like go down this hill, man, doing 90, and then you turn the wheel really fast, and then you get like this huge big thing of like wave of snow over you, and it was so sick at the time. We were like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can't really remember too much. And we brought my friend Steve to come with us, and he had his own GT. And the other dude I was with, he brought his older brothers, and they were like older brothers, so they're kind of mean. Anyways, whatever. Yeah. So they made us do like hardcore shit. So we're bombing like the double black diamond, and Steve's at the bottom waiting to cross like our path, like waiting for us to go by. Yeah. And then the one dude, like the one dude's older brother, pushes him in front of us as we're coming down this double black diamond, like doubled up on a GT. But yeah. He like runs like out of the way and pulls his GT with him on the string, and we smoke this GT, and we're like flying, dude. We're going so fast. Yeah. I just remember being airborne and then just hitting snow and just like, and then just like I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe because I got the wind knocked out of me. I'm like on the ground like. And I'm like, and then when you finally get your breath back, it's just immediate. And I'm like, and then as soon as I get my breath back, I start crying. And I look over at the other dude, and his knee, his like snow pants are like ripped apart, and his leg is bleeding so much, man. He got sliced open all under his knee and shit. Yeah. And this is pre-cell phones, so we had to walk our ass up a double black diamond all broken, and then we just went home and we were like, oh man.
That sucks, you,
Steve,
but
for pulling your
also
GT in front of us, man. We almost died. Oh my god, we were flying, man. That was a fast hill. Well, it's like a cliff.
I never owned a GT, but I would ride my friends' GTs, and the coolest thing.
Yeah, they're absolutely so awesome. And they had brakes. Like, come on. How cool is that?
When my daughter is older, I hope to provide it. I want to have a GT in her house.
Does GT even stand
When I grew
for
up, though,
anything?
my GT Snow Racer, I'm sure it's like
Gran Torino. Yeah. Gran Torino.
Yeah, it's a racist. Fuck. Hey, you were talking about, that when you just mentioned the, like, when you get winded so hard and you're a little kid.
Yeah, it happened to me
and you're
another
like,
time.
okay, step one.
Too, when... Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's still in the same topic. Step one of, like, being winded as a kid is, like, and then step two is, like, like, as soon as you get a little bit of breath, it's like, okay, now I can breathe. I'm going to start crying a bit. And then, like, step three is, like, okay, I got my wind back. Now I'm going to, like, full-blown cry like a baby.
We were playing soccer. That was good, man. It sounded just like a baby. God damn you, Bernice.
Alright, you go.
There was this kid. We called him Big Nick, obviously, because he was big.
Yeah.
And just tall, big kid. And he played soccer, and we all lived in row houses because I'm a military brat. And our backyards were split off by, like, these half 6-foot fences. They weren't very long. They were like maybe 5 feet, 6 feet long, and 6 feet tall. And I watched him kick a soccer ball and break the wood on those things because they're like double. I can't really explain it, but double 2x4s.
Yeah, I remember.
So
I know a lot about
balls. No, you're an idiot. I'm in the fence. There's pretty thick wood. Anyways, I watched him break a couple of those kicking the ball. Anyways, one time we were out in the playground, we were all playing soccer, and Big Nick like booted the ball so hard and just straight into my gut. And I was just like, same thing as with the GT. I was just trying to breathe, and like you're trying to talk, like I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I broke Eric, everybody. And you're a little kid, you're like 10 or 11, so you're like, call my mom, get my mom, I need my mom, call my mom, I can't breathe. And it's like a big deal. Oh, man.
I think we got time for one. I got time for one more getting winded story, and that's probably how we'll end the episode. Good thing is we didn't do all of our topics, and some of them are really good. So we'll have those for episode 3. But this is how I get this last getting winded story is actually about how I got into hip hop in terms of I'm a guitar player. I've been playing guitar since 1994. I'm pretty good, but I went through a period where I injured myself and I couldn't play anymore. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I'll start making beats. I had a toy keyboard. I made some hip-hop beats out of that. And they were, like a joke at first, but they're like, oh, actually I kind of have like a bit of an aptitude for this, and then I kept going, and I got nowhere with it, but I have a catalog of beats that you'll hear at the beginning and the end of every episode of this show. But anyway, and I was at the time I was jogging with my homie in Guelph, my roommate in Guelph when I was in university, and I think I was probably like 22, 23 type deal, or maybe I don't know. I'd have to do the math, and I can't do that. That's my weakness. And
well, it's my only weakness.
We were jogging. My underbelly, my one weakness. And
my calves, the hardest place to gain.
I'm like, my calves. And I was jogging. I lived above this deli called the Dutch Toko in Guelph. And I was jogging behind it in the parking lot. And there was one of those like guardrail thingies. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just hop over it. It's not very tall. But I was on the back side of it where, how the metal kind of curves inward. And it snagged my foot. and I went over it just like kind of. Do you remember in Living Color, like Handyman? Do you remember Handyman? And I had my arm up like a T-Rex, like I'm a handyman, and I fucking hit the deck in a handyman stance, and I went face first, and my little handy like arm went down, and I broke my hand legit, and like pulled my wrist, like the tendons were bad. I had my arm in a sling for a few days. I got an X-ray. They didn't call me back. But I think that's because you can't do anything for a broken hand, because, like, to this day, if I push down on the palm, it fucking kills.
Oh,
it still hurts. Like, you of all people have broken, like, your foot a million times. Like,
I broke my left foot 3 times and my right foot twice.
This is the only time I've ever actually really injured anything other than my brain through dumb things. And, anyway, yeah, so when I hit the deck, I was winded, just shocked at how fast it was. Like, it's like when you watch, Family watch like Guy? A video where it's a
Family Guy fall?
Like, no, like where it's like no, not like that. Where it's like when you when a video is shot by a camcorder, and the camcorder you see it hit the ground really fast
on the tumble.
But it felt like it was slow motion, and I just hit the deck head first with my little like T-Rex arm like out in front of my face, and I went down, and I was completely winded, and it was the most winded I've ever been as an adult, and I'm like like every, and I'm like I can't my friend is like crying laughing, and I'm like just a hair below actually crying, but basically crying from the pain and the shock and embarrassment, and then I'm laughing, and then like he helps me up, and I'm limping. I tweaked my leg too. Yeah. I'm just a fucking mess. I'm like bleeding and scraped. Yeah. And my arm is fucked.
It's like the dude from Euro Trip, or no, European Vacation, like National Lampoons, where they hit the guy in the bike. Yeah, I remember that. And it's like, yeah, it's just a flesh wound. Yeah. It's like squirting out. That was you. I actually have to tell 2 more quick stories. One.
No, but I'm coming to the end. So I'm coming to the end. We go up. I mean, he's laughing at me, and I'm like, that was ridiculous. Like, I'll never jog again. And like, to be honest, I've barely jogged since then. I have gone running a little bit, but I have never hopped a guardrail or made a jump that I couldn't 100% make since then. But it's what got me, because I'm like, I legit couldn't play. I couldn't type. So I told my professors, I'm like, I broke my hand. I get you a doctor's note if you want, because I did go to the clinic the day after. The night of, I'm like, I had a 40 in the fridge of like malt liquor, and instead of going to the hospital, because I think I broke my hand, it was all swollen, I couldn't move it. I just got drunk and didn't go anywhere.
I know a couple
of
friends.
I just woke up in the morning. I'm like, oh my god, this hurts so bad, and I got extensions on all my assignments. Nice. And I was loving it. I had sympathy. I was single at the time, so I had sympathy from like young ladies, and
so they want to care for your poor broken
abusing it. I'm like, yeah, it's all good. And I had my roommates. She had all these like scarves. I'm like, can I borrow one of those? And I made a sling out of it, and it was like kind of fancy.
It had sparkles, and hearts, and rainbows.
Had sparkles. No, but anyway, yeah, that's the end of my story. I couldn't play guitar for like 2 or 3 weeks, so
when I broke my foot, it's happened so many times now. It sucks, dude. You can't skate, can't do anything, so you just.
I remember that's how we got issue 1. That's how you finish issue 1 of Slime Church, is when you broke your foot. I was like one of those creepy girlfriends who's like, yes, now he's mine.
I have him.
Yes.
My precious.
It's like, now you're going to draw my story and make it come to life.
My precious.
Yeah, like that. Like the first time you did, you blew a few lines. But
Yeah. One time in hockey though, I was coming around the net to grab the puck. It was a game, and it was our net, and I'm defense.
Yeah.
So like skating fucking 100 miles an hour, and I take a sharp turn around the net, and I go to pick up the puck, but my stick was a little too high, and my stick hit the back of the net, and just right into my gut, and I like. I hit it. My stick was like it didn't break or anything. It just flexed, and I was like, ugh, and it was like right in my stomach. I was like my feet went off the air and everything. My hands were out. Oh man, it looked like I got hit with like a cannonball in like a cartoon, you know.
That must be so painful because it's a concentrated blow.
I was like 16, maybe 17, and I cried. I lied on the ice after I could get my breath, and I just like. And the trainers.
Did you do it loud?
No, just quiet, like cover your face. Just like, like when you're laughing in elementary school at something, and you put your head down and you. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to hide it so you don't get yelled
So like
at
the
by
trainers
some
and shit had to come out and help me. I finished the game, but man, it hurt so bad.
Did you get heckled bad for it?
No, actually, I didn't. It probably looked pretty bad in the crowd, and everybody was like, "Ooh," like the whole crowd. Ooh. Yeah, that one sucked. And one more. My friend was waiting outside for his uncle to pick him up. It was just me, him, and our other buddy AJ. It was AJ and Mike and me.
Yeah.
And we were just tossing around the ball, and I like threw it up really high, and Mike jumped up to catch it, and as he came down, he like kind of hit the curb with his foot and just broke his ankle.
Yeah.
Like he just came down and broke his ankle like right there in front of us. Man. He's on the ground and he's like half crying and rolling around and stuff, and we were all laughing so much because it was hilarious at the time. He had to go to the hospital.
You guys are jerks.
He had to go to the hospital, all sorts of shit. But it was so
Of course
funny.
he did.
Yeah, just jumped up to catch the ball and broke his ankle, man. Yeah, excuse.
I'm going to do one last story of not being tough in the face of adversity. And
that's so well.
So you're 1 year younger than my younger brother, my only younger brother. And we used to play road hockey all the time, and I'd make him play goalie. And I don't even know if he had a real stick or a mini stick, but I'm fucking using a real hockey stick and a ball, like a hockey ball. I'm just I'm owning him because I'm 5 years older. I'm way taller. Like it's like playing, it's taking candy from a baby kind of.
You're literally playing against a 3-year-old.
Yeah, like
and like really trying.
He was probably, honestly, he would have been. Ooh, he would have been like, I know that was my brain going.
You scream.
Erock.exe is not responding.
Cannot refresh this page. You're currently offline. Would you like to play the TX?
Years old. I was like 13. He was like 8 years old, type deal. And I fucking provoked him so hard, and I like owned him, and I kept scoring on him, and like he just finally had enough. And I don't blame him. He came up behind me. Remember that fucking guy? Was it Marty McSorley? Who like lifted his head, or Todd Bertuzzi? Was it Todd Bertuzzi?
Where he skated up and punched the guy in the side of the head and broke his neck?
No, okay, it wasn't that guy. No, it was a guy. It was a guy who lifted a hockey stick above another guy's head and brought it down on the back. Wasn't it Marty McSorley?
I don't remember names, but I remember seeing the video. You can look it up on YouTube. Just type in guy.
You know me, I'm like
guy.
I don't like sports or hockey or any of that.
Man, if you ever watch any of the old hockey, like black and white, really old, first starting, when they fight, man, two dudes will have their sticks and they'll just be whipping each other with them, dude, back and forth. It's fucked.
Yeah, but it was a big deal because the guy like cracked the guy in the head with the stick and he went down and had like brain damage and shit, and it was almost
a vegetable.
But anyway, my little brother, I think I had a mushroom cut at the time. He fucked it up because he came up behind me, brought the stick up above his head, brought it down on my head, my unprotected head. All I had was a mushroom cut to protect me, and
it looked like a helmet. Maybe he didn't know. He had a helmet.
I was at the age. Maybe I was in grade 7.
Helmet.
I don't know. He hit me so... No, I didn't have a helmet.
No, you had what looked like a helmet. Your mushroom cut.
I know. All I know is my voice hadn't
hit.
changed, and he
dick
hit me in the head with that stick, and I went down and I screamed like a girl, like straight up, like.
Your little brother kicked your ass.
The most extreme screaming ever, and I was just squirting blood because scalp wounds bleed so hard.
They do. It's very.
And then my mom, I think my mom was home. And she's like, "Oh my god!" And like ran out and put a towel on my head and like applied pressure. And they took me to the hospital. And 5 stitches later, they sewed my fucking head back. It's just a gash in my head. It wasn't a big deal.
Yes.
My brother felt so bad about it, but I deserved it. I was such a douche. And I've never. So when people like take satisfaction in being a bully. I just think back to when I was a bit of a bully to my younger brother.
And he got revenge.
And even if he hadn't have smoked me, I wouldn't have felt good about the exchange because I was abusing my power over my brother.
Yeah, totally.
Who didn't deserve that. He looked up to me, and it wouldn't be the first time in my life that I let him down. But
I got picked on.
That definitely was a time where he actually. I wish he later in life when I let him down, he did the same kind of revenge because I think we'd be 100% even. But that was a funny episode.
Okay, there's one more, and then we can end it. Because this is an ender.
Last story, and then we're going to end it.
This is an ender.
Ender, buddy.
Ender's Game.
Ender's Game.
So when I lived in Petawawa, I'm a military brat, so I moved around a lot. I got picked on a bunch, when I was a little kid. Shit happened, whatever. So I moved to Trenton. I'm like, fresh new start, make some friends. So I go to school for the first 2 days, and I totally made friends, man. They came over, all sorts of shit. It was great. I'm like, yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
So I go to school one day, and my little sister didn't like to sleep in her own room. She was scared, so I slept in my parents' room. So my parents. So my parents were like. So our parents were doing the thing where it was tough love, you're not sleeping in our room. So she's in her room and she's having one of those So I went in there and I pulled out the cot.
What up, Tabitha?
So I went in her room and I pulled out the cot because my dad had a bunch of military cots and shit. So I pulled out the cot and I slept in her room.
Yeah.
So when I get to school the next day, I'm like, oh man, I had to sleep with my sister last night. Blah blah blah, and they're like, what? You slept with your sister?
What? You slept with your sister?
We're 12 years old. Yeah, we're 12 years old, so obviously. You slept with your sister? Oh, you're weird, incest. It's I couldn't even explain myself. So then I go home that day.
You're fucking your own sister there, bud.
Straight Trenton, bud. This is before I knew what Straight Trenton was. And, so anyways, I go home and I'm bummed. I'm oh, it's happening again. You'll get picked on again. No, my life is over. It gets better.
Yeah.
So we go. So we have these a set of stairs at our place to the upstairs, and there's a banister. It's cut off. So my mom she just did laundry, so she put a bunch of clothes on this banister, kind of balancing. And I had my jacket, and I always put it on that banister. So I saw the clothes there. I was like, whatever. I threw my hood over the clothes on the banister because I knew they weren't going to go up until later or tomorrow or whatever. So I wake up the next morning. I'm straight up late for school. So I'm rushing, and I grab my jacket and I put it on and I throw it on. I throw my hood up and I feel this thing and I pull it out and it's closed. So I was like, oh, whatever. I was like, oh yeah. So I threw the clothes in the room and then I leave and I run for school and I get to school and the whole day goes by. I didn't hear shit about you sleeping with your sister. You didn't sleep. I didn't hear anything about me sleeping with my little sister. Which I didn't. I slept in her room. But yeah, so at the end of the day, we're all packing up to leave. We're all at the door, and this is grade 8. So you wait for the bell, and you're just getting ready to leave. And I'm standing there, and I put my jacket on, and I throw my hood up onto my head, and my little sister's panties fly out of the hood of my jacket and onto the floor in front of everybody because her clothes were part of the clothes that were on the thing that I put my fucking hood on. And I see this happen, and I'm quicker than the Flash, man. I pick those things up and I throw them in my pocket. And this other dude I went to school with, his also name is Tyler. He's like, "What was that?" I was like, "Nothing, man." He's like, "No, what was that?" I was like, "It's nothing." And he reaches into my pocket and he pulls them out and he holds them up, like he holds them up, and it's like little, like butterfly, whatever.
Little girl underwear.
And he's like, ugh, and he throws them at me, and they like land on my shoulder, and I just like, I put them in my pocket again. I knew they were clean or whatever, but they're like, oh, you did sleep with your sister! You did sleep with your sister! You got her panties in your hood, you smell those panties, and like, oh, it was the worst. It was the worst, and that lived with me for so long, and I didn't hear about it until grade 10, and then somebody told that story again, and then like everybody knew about it in high school. Man, it was so brutal. So I'm just telling all our viewers before you hear it from somebody else. That was the funniest, most random fucking thing to ever happen to me. Moving to a new town after getting picked on from an old town, man. Like, come on.
It's happening.
It's happening again. I'm crying to my mom. I just want to go back.
My goal though is to have those people that picked on us, try to get our autographs. And like, I'm sorry, like I gotta go catch a flight.
Yeah, to my mansion.
Like, I'm like, just DM me,
yeah,
and I'll send you a scanned like photo, like
signed photo,
scanned copy of my.
You can print screen it,
just like a boiler, like the letter you get from Santa Claus. Like, which you're like, oh, this doesn't seem really personal. It's really general.
Fuck you, Santa. I mean, he's got millions of kids.
You fake ass, beard
Trick
ass, child toucher ass, fucking ass.
Well, like, oh, he touches. Yeah. He definitely watches.
We're both gonna look for the red circle on your screen. I want you to press.
Stop recording.
I want you to press this.
All right, well, let's end this.
Stop recording.
Yo, thanks for tuning in again, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Excuse Factory. I can't say that
pretty kick-ass.
We're going to use the entire episode that we talked through, but we're going to have choice pieces. We're ending the session at an hour and 20 minutes. That's more than I've spent on it.
That's a decent podcast, everybody. So I hope you enjoy the stories, and we touched on some discussions of things we were going to talk about. Who cares? It's just podcasts. This is a fucking Excuse Factory, man. Get with it.
Excuse Factory, baby. Hashtag Excuse Factory. Hashtag Slime Church. Peace.
All right, later, everybody.
Muy papi.